Let's take a look at the rack. Here's the cue ball. Here's the 1 to the 2, and the 2 to the 3, 3 to the 4, 4 to the 5, 5 to the 6, 6 to the 7, 7 to the 8, 8 to the 9. Now let's break the patterns down into 3 separate patterns. Here's pattern 1, the 1, 2, and the 3. Here's pattern 2, the 4, 5, and 6. And here's pattern 3, the 7, 8, and 9. So it's safe to say that if you can run 3 balls, you can run this rack. But there's 2 main keys in every rack and 9 ball. And that's the 3 to the 4, and that's because that connects pattern 1 with pattern 2. And the other key would be the 6 to the 7 because that connects pattern 2 with pattern 3. So if you have ball in hand on the 3 ball to get to the 4, where would you put the cue ball? And if you had ball in hand on the 6 to get to the 7, where would you put the cue ball? Though you don't have ball in hand, you have a cue stick, and you need to put the cue ball in those positions. And that's the key. That's going to unlock the whole run out for you. So now you're saying the pattern has 3 different things with 2 different key shots. And that's it. You need to focus all your energy and get in a position. You need to be on the 3 and on the 6. This is a stun shot, which is the same concept as a stop shot. So if I was straight in here, this ball, the cue ball would stop. But I'm not straight in. I have an angle, so the cue ball is going to go on the tangent line, right up in the direction we need to be on the 2 ball. I'm just using a hair bottom here just to stop the cue ball from rolling forward and to bounce it off that rail a little bit so I'm not stuck shooting off the rail when I shoot this 3. And that should give me a natural angle to get from the 3 to the 4. This is shot with top right to go down to the top rail and hit the side rail and bounce back up for position on the 4 ball. By the way, they flipped this table, so this is now the top side, or the side you break from. You're breaking from this side of the table, and you're racking on that side of the table. So when I say top rail, I mean this rail right here. And when I say bottom rail, that would be the bottom of the table down here where you rack from. So my whole agenda here is to get absolutely straight in on the 6 ball. And I'll let you know why when we get to the 6 ball, but just remember that the 4 and the 5 will be out of your way by the time you get to the 6 ball. And you might choose a different path here depending on your style of play, but I'm choosing to get straight in on that 6. That's the key that's going to unlock that game. If I can do that, I know I'm going to be out. So I'm shooting a 3 to come down to this top rail and bend over to the side rail and bounce out for right about this angle on the 4 to get back on this 5, and so I can get straight in on the 6. And you can see a little disgust right there because I'm really not happy with where I got on the 4 ball. But on the other hand, if I really draw this ball to the right hand side rail and bounce up, I think I can get decent position on the 5 ball to get back and straight in on the 6. So like I said, I'm shooting this with a lot of bottom to bounce off that right hand side rail and back up table just a little bit for a decent shot on the 5 ball. For a second, I want you to think of the cue ball as a top. You know that child's toy that you spin? Well, if you're looking straight down at the top and you wanted to spin it counterclockwise, you would hit the top on the right hand side, right? If you wanted to spin clockwise, you would hit the top on the left hand side, right? Now, if you put left hand English on this, it's going to spin the cue ball clockwise, and the cue ball is going to go way back up table, and you're going to have a terrible shot on the 6 ball. If you don't put any English and just hit it with center ball, the 5 ball is going to impart a little bit of clockwise English, and it's going to go about halfway or 3/4 of the way back up table. Both of those would be horrible situations. So we have to counter that. And we have to spin the cue ball counterclockwise, so when it hits that left-hand rail, it bounces straight back up toward me and stays on the bottom side of the table for a straight-in shot on the 6. Now, you still might be a little bit confused about why I wanted to get straight in on the 6, so we're going to cut to a graph and I want to explain this. If we draw a straight line from the pocket through the 6 ball and through the cue ball, and we shoot this ball and it comes back on this line and bounces off at the exact opposite angle of that line, are you good with getting the cue ball right here on the 7? And that's the question you should have answered a long time ago. And that's why I wanted to get straight in on this shot. But that's just because I have a little bit of a different style. I want to show you a more popular style right now. So if you played to get the cue ball right here to come off this rail and bounce out for the 7, you're playing a line, and that's a great, great way to play. It's just that I don't like the baby balls much, and I like to let my stroke out, because it keeps me more relaxed. I like to hit the balls a little bit harder than most players, but again, that's just me. Playing for this position off the 6 is a great way to go. That way, if you come up short, you're still on the line for the 7. If you come up long, you're still on the line for the 7, and you should be able to get the right angle on this 8 ball to bounce off this rail and get back on this 9 ball. So either way you go, it'll work. As long as you can utilize it, it's great. Here again, I'm using the draw stroke, but I'm shooting this pretty light, and I just want the cue ball back down table. Right around the center of the table is where I'm aiming this cue ball, because I need an angle off the 8 to hit that side rail and come back for natural position on the 9 ball. And here's where I see a lot of really good players who have the potential to be great players making a big, big mistake on this shot right here. And what they tend to do is draw this ball because they're trying to get perfect on the 9. And what happens 9 times out of 10 is they go back down table too far and they get on that bottom rail, and now they're in a dreadful position on the 9 ball and they're forced to bank it. You don't have to be perfect on this 9. If we got the 9 ball, the cue ball back a little bit further than where we are right now, it's absolutely good enough. Don't let perfection be the enemy of good enough. Just dead center ball here. You don't want to be worried about anything. It's time to relax. You got this game won. You don't want to be concerned with deflection or anything like that. After I make this ball, we're going to replay the whole video once again. But this time, I want you to think about everything I just said. And ultimately, you're going to unlock the 9-ball code, and everything is going to get easier for you, and your game is going to improve drastically if you stick with it and if you practice thinking this way. And when you guys get filthy rich, send me lots of money. Good luck to you.